welcome to the episode 5 of Ask Veena. Thank you so much for all your queries that you have been asking me since last 2 weeks, because of which the show keeps running. Today's question, Farida Ali Hussain asks, is there any substitute for yeast? I always dream of baking my own bread but do not know if I can use yeast successfully. Can you suggest me any alternative so that I can bake my own bread? Well, Farida, thank you so much for your query. Here is the answer for your query. Okay, so what will happen if you make it with yeast? Maximum you will spoil a batch of dough. Depending on where you are, it will cost you rupees 50 or less than $1. But you will learn how it is done, and also maybe in this bargain you might do it well as well. Just make sure you're following the instruction on the packet of the yeast. Well, if you still want the substitute of yeast, let us now first understand what is yeast and how does it work. Yeast is a living organism which when fermented will convert sugar or carbohydrates into carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide that has been used through ages for baking. So to substitute yeast in the baking, you will need something that will produce carbon dioxide as a byproduct of the heat. So this is achieved either by sodium bicarbonate or commonly known as baking soda, or with the use of baking powder. Baking soda is used in the recipes which has yogurt or lime in it, as it needs acidic product so as to activate it. However, you will need to bake the dish instantly after using baking soda, because the process will be very quick. That is, the process of activation will be very quick when it comes in contact with the moisture, or else the product will become flat. On the other hand, baking powder is a more stabilized ingredient which has already a acidic mix and baking soda in it. It also has a starch like cornstarch to keep it dry. Now, there are two types of baking powder, single strength and the other one is the double strength. Single strength means you will need to start the baking immediately as it starts to activate as soon as it will come in contact with the moisture. Double acting powder means that some of the carbon dioxide gas will be released immediately on contact with the moisture, and the rest will be released only after the application of heat. Then there are leaveners such as sourdough starter, which uses the yeast from the atmosphere to make the bread. It is a time-consuming process to make the starter, but once it is done, you will get a superb tasting bread. So Farida, these are some of the substitutes for the yeast for making bread. Depending on what you are going to make, you can make use of any of the 3 ingredients mentioned before. Well, Farida, thank you so much for your query, and I hope I have answered your question on what is the substitute for yeast while making bread. I hope this video will be helpful to you and to everyone else who had this query as well. Thank you so much for your query. Well, friends, if you have any query related to food, you can write to me or leave your voice message at veenaskitchen.com/ask. And if your query gets featured on the show, that is Ask Veena, you can win a copy of my latest ebook, that is 30 Days 30 Plates, which is published in Amazon.com. Well, friends, please go ahead posting your queries to post@veenaskitchen.com. or you can leave a comment down in the comment box as well. Thank you so much for watching veenaskitchen.com and Ask Veena.